Award shows are kind of a snooze fest because even though you're excited to see your favorite celebrities accept their well-deserved awards, networks censor people so much that they're not very entertaining anymore, and people have to rely on celebrity outbursts for some form of entertainment. But of course, networks don't like those and have banned celebrities in the past for being too outspoken. And that's why today on the channel, I'm going to be filling you in on the top 10 celebrities banned from award shows. I'm Mackenzie, you're watching Beyond the Screen, and let's get into it. And at number 10, we have Sacha Baron Cohen. Sacha Baron Cohen, who is known for his outrageous comedic stunts, actually got banned from the Oscars because they were too afraid that he would do something crazy on the red carpet. It was reported that a few days before the 84th Academy Awards, Baron Cohen's tickets were pulled, meaning that he was banned from the show, even though he's an Academy member and was one of the stars of Hugo, one movie up for Best Picture. With the statement from the Oscars reading, quote, "Unless they're assured that nothing entertaining is going to happen on the red carpet, the Academy is not admitting Sacha Baron Cohen to the show." This came after rumors were swirling that Baron Cohen would show up in a costume on the red carpet. So I mean, maybe that was a little valid, they need to protect their show. And at number 9, Kanye West. So as we know, Kanye West is famous for his incident interrupting Taylor Swift on stage at the MTV VMAs, and embarrassing both of them. So after a crazy event like that, it's not hard to assume that he was banned from award shows for a long time after. It's such a common theory that a satire site, the Adobe Chronicles, even published an article saying that he was banned from all award shows after he interrupted someone yet again on stage at the 2015 Grammy Awards, with them saying in the article that all the TV networks have joined the, quote, West boycott. And even though banning Kanye would make a lot of sense, it hasn't officially happened, but after having incidents in 2009 and 2015, I'm sure networks are hesitant to invite West to any awards, and I would assume he's banned from ever presenting, that's for sure. And at number 8, Richard Gere. Richard Gere was not only banned from the Oscars, but also China after he made a controversial speech at the awards ceremony. In 1993, Gere was presenting on stage, but he took the time to criticize the Chinese government and speak in support of Tibet. After this speech, Gere was banned from the Oscars for years, until he was allowed to return in 2013 to present an award with his castmate from Chicago. During that period of exile, he continued to speak out on behalf of Tibet and other international causes. So I guess the ban didn't change much about him being vocal, just not on the Oscars stage. And at number 7, Carmine Karidi. Actor Carmine Karidi was actually the first person to ever be kicked out of the Academy. He was expelled in 2004 because the Academy learned that he was sharing movie screeners with other people, which are obviously very against the rules. Karidi spoke to The Hollywood Reporter about the incident, saying in the interview, quote, "Let me tell you something. Everybody does it, okay? I was doing a guy a favor and he screwed me." And this was actually starting to become a real issue in the industry, with the former MPAA chief imposing a ban on all screeners to combat piracy, with the Academy members being the only people allowed screeners. Apparently Karidi gave them to a man that would copy them for himself and then send them back to Karidi. Karidi was also sued by all major studios for the action, so clearly if you're ever in that position, just follow the rules. I mean, it's really not that hard. And at number 6, Miley Cyrus. When the 2020 Grammy Awards went down, tons of fans were wondering why Miley Cyrus wasn't in attendance, although she wasn't nominated, performing, or presenting, so there could have been a host of reasons. But Miley decided to call out all award shows when she posted a video of her on stage presenting at the MTV VMAs, lighting up a smoke on stage during the performance, with that obviously being a throwback picture, with the caption reading, quote, "And we wonder why I'm not invited to award shows anymore." But of course, tons of celebrities loved the subtle shade and commented their support on her Instagram post, with Alexander Wang writing, quote, "Don't ever change," and Lisa Renner writing, "I'd have you at mine if I had one." Halfway at number 5, Schitt's Creek. It's impossible to think that this lovable group of Canadian icons was almost left out of an award show because of the show's name. But that's actually what happened. At the Emmy Awards, they were so adamant about the rule that there would be no swearing in their broadcast that they almost banned the name Schitt's Creek from the show. When host Jimmy Kimmel mentioned Schitt's Creek, which was nominated for 15 Emmy Awards, the show's logo appeared on the screen, all this so nobody would mistake for, shit. Like, honestly, we might have had to bleep out Schitt's Creek too, the way that I'm saying it does. It's meant to sound like that. Jimmy Kimmel even found it so ridiculous that he even made a joke that this kind of censorship is why network TV is dying. And at number 4, The Weeknd. Even though The Weeknd had a phenomenal year and his album After Hours got commercial and critical success, he was noticeably absent from Grammy nominations. People have a lot of theories as to why they think that this happened, but most of them think the Grammys blacklisted the star because he went against them. even though his past Grammy recognition has been stellar, with him having 3 wins and 10 nominations in total. One reason is that The Weeknd was very critical of the Grammys in an interview for the Rolling Stone, talking about their category changes, saying, quote, "R&B and black music is such a wide variety. If they pull us all into one category, I still think it's not fair. We'll see how it goes." Maybe his comments were why he wasn't included. Another theory is surrounding the Super Bowl, as the star was picked to perform at both the Grammys and the Super Bowl. A massive honor, obviously. But people think that the Grammys didn't like the way it was negotiated, and decided to shaft the singer for choosing the Super Bowl over the Grammys, essentially. In at number 3, Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany Haddish called out the Grammys big time after she was asked to host the Grammy Awards premiere ceremony, but turned down the offer after being told that she would have to pay her own way there. After this was brought up in the media, Recording Academy interim chief Harvey Mason Jr. posted a public apology on social media, saying he was unaware of that offer, saying in the Instagram video, quote, "It's just been brought to my attention that the Recording Academy invited Tiffany Haddish to host this year's premiere ceremony. Unfortunately, and without my knowing, the talent booker working the Academy told Miss Haddish that we wouldn't even cover her costs while she hosted this event for us, adding that it's wrong and he's ashamed of that decision." Haddish commented back later saying, quote, "All of that would have to come out of my pocket. I don't know if this might mean I might not get nominated ever again, but I think it's disrespectful." Based on the way it played out with public support being on Tiffany's side, I think she'll still be good in the graces of the award show, but hey, they might take the embarrassment out on her instead. Who really knows? And at number 2, PricewaterhouseCoopers accountants. Back in 2017, the Oscars had one of their worst blunders to date, when the Oscar award for Best Picture temporarily went to the wrong film, which was the fault of the accountants who were supposed to ensure the winners were announced correctly. After the embarrassing mistake, the Oscars banned the 2 accountants who were backstage at the Oscars for not rectifying the situation soon enough. Brian Cullinan was the accountant that gave the card to the presenter, causing the whole situation. But the other accountant, Martha Ruiz, did not directly cause the situation, but she didn't do enough to fix it after it happened. When talking about the ban, the Academy said, quote, "I'm sure they're very lovely people, but they just didn't have the disposition for this. You need someone who's going to be confident and unafraid," one of those sources told the Wrap, explaining that Martha failed to react to the drama fast enough. And that was, of course, La La Land getting the award instead of Moonlight that actually won that year. And finally, at number 1, Ricky Gervais. Ricky Gervais is probably banned from hosting any more award shows ever after his shocking monologue at the Golden Globe Awards in January of 2020. In the monologue, he starts off by saying it's his 5th time hosting, and he really doesn't care anymore, which he made very clear by saying he didn't care like every few minutes of the monologue. Starting off saying, quote, "You'll be pleased to know that this is my last time hosting these awards. I don't care anymore." I'm joking, I never did. NBC clearly didn't either, 5th time. In the monologue, he took shots basically all the people in attendance, even calling the Hollywood Foreign Press Association racist, and saying that Netflix is taking over Hollywood. Saying at one point the show is going to be doing a quote in memoriam this year, but when I saw the list of who died, it wasn't diverse enough. Then going on to trash action movies, saying, quote, "They wear masks and capes and really tight costumes. Their job isn't acting anymore. It's going to the gym twice a day and taking steroids." And yeah, after calling the people that hired you racist, I don't think he's expecting a callback. Award shows are not only live TV, but they are also generally very prestigious and attended by A-list celebrities. So any behavior that hurts advertisers or offends those watching live is definitely not tolerated, and led to some celebrities getting banned from award shows. I'm Mackenzie, you're watching me on the screen, and let's get into the top 10 celebrities banned from award shows part 2. And make sure to subscribe if you're new here. And at number 10, Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart got the opportunity of a lifetime when he was asked to host the Oscars in 2018, but it was promptly taken away after old tweets of his resurfaced that were offensive to the LGBTQ community. Kevin responded to the backlash in a video on Instagram, where he said the Academy asked him to apologize and he would still be able to host, but Hart refused and did not want to apologize again, saying in the video that he had addressed all the tweets prior and has apologized multiple times for them, and he didn't want to apologize again and let the trolls win. After that fiasco, the Academy decided to not have a host, and since they haven't had a host since, it seems this controversy made them completely rethink the way the awards are hosted, and this means Kevin will most likely never host the show. And at number 9, 50 Cent. 50 Cent almost pulled a Kanye at the 2004 Grammy Awards. 50 Cent along with Evanescence were up for the Best New Artist award. Evanescence ended up winning, and when they came on stage to accept the award, 50 walked on stage right behind them. Thankfully, he didn't stay on the stage for long. He basically just walked on the stage and then walked straight off. But obviously that kind of act is not tolerated. But it seems 50 Cent doesn't care about being blacklisted by the award show, as he actually spoke about the event recently when accepting his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He said at the ceremony, quote, "I got the largest first album, debut album and hip-hop album, but you don't got no Best New Artist trophy. The Best New Artist, they gave that to Evanescence. Can you find Evanescence? Mike, I haven't seen Evanescence since that night." So definitely throwing a lot of shade there. And at number 8, Janet Jackson. On the heels of her unforgettable Super Bowl nip slip, it was announced that Janet Jackson was banned from attending the Grammy Awards. Her publicist said that she was unlikely to attend anyway, while the entertainment show Access Hollywood said the invitation had been withdrawn anyways. After the incident where Justin Timberlake ripped her shirt and exposed her breast, she went on TV and apologized, saying, quote, "I am really sorry if I offended anyone. That was truly not my intention." Jackson was scheduled to introduce the Luther Vandross tribute at the Grammys, but that invitation was canceled in light of the controversial event. After the scandal, CBS also said it would have a 5-minute delay on the award show to prevent anything like that happening again. And at number 7, Guns N' Roses. This is one incident where the band Guns N' Roses probably should have been banned. When the band was accepting multiple awards at the American Music Awards that aired January of 1990, they swore a number of times on stage, appeared drunk, and even encouraged viewers to drink too. The band won 2 awards at the ceremony, and both times Slash and McKagan were called up to the podium, they stumbled and swore on stage, saying things that vaguely made sense, like, quote, "We're a band, man. We go in, we jam, we hang out, and we listen to rap records, and we go dance, you know? Our audience is the only thing that makes this happen." And I'm sure after that, someone from the award show gave their management an earful. And at number 6, Morgan Wallen. Country artist Morgan Wallen has been banned from performing at or receiving any recognition during the upcoming Academy of Country Music Awards after a video of him saying the N-word to friends was leaked. The first round of voting for the award show has already closed, but his name will be taken out for the second round of voting. A tweet from CMT read, quote, "After learning of Morgan Wallen's racial slur last night, we are in the process of removing his appearances from all our platforms. We do not tolerate or condone words or actions that are in direct opposition to our core values that celebrate diversity, equity, and inclusion." Halfway, number 5, Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman turned heads at the 2018 SAG Awards for multiple reasons. Firstly, he wore a black cap on stage while accepting his award, which I'm sure many people with the Academy thought was disrespectful. His friend who presented the award to him, Rita Moreno, even called him out on stage for wearing the hat, with her bluntly telling him to raise his baseball cap so people could see his eyes. And then at the end of his acceptance speech, he criticized the award shows for being gender specific, saying, quote, "I wasn't gonna do this. I'm gonna tell you what's wrong with this statue." He said it works from the back, but from the front it's gender specific. Maybe I started something. And obviously it's safe to say award shows do not like to be called out by their winners on stage. And at number 4, Tommy Wiseau. Tommy Wiseau is the larger-than-life star and creator of the movie The Room, which developed a cult following over the years and is well known as one of the worst movies ever made. Years later, James Franco played Wiseau in a Hollywood adaptation of the movie and ended up winning a Golden Globe for his performance. And when Franco went up to accept the award, he decided to call up Wiseau onto the stage to honor his part in the movie's success. But a shockwave was sent through viewers when Franco was giving his award speech, and Wiseau went in to grab the mic, but Franco blocked it and went on to give his speech. Some people found it disrespectful of Franco, however Wiseau is known as a wild card who has said very controversial things in the past, so I'm sure the network was happy that he was not given time on air. And since he has talked badly about the Golden Globes in the past, he will surely not be invited back. And at number 3, Nicki Minaj. Of course, the queen of rap, Nicki Minaj, is never going to be actually banned from an award show, but I'm sure she had the VMAs very nervous in 2015 when she used an acceptance speech to publicly call out Miley Cyrus after Miley made some negative comments about her in the press. While accepting the award for Best Hip Hop Video at the MTV Video Music Awards, Nicki Minaj finished off her acceptance speech saying, quote, "And now back to this beat that had a lot to say about me the other day in the press," adding, "Miley, what's good?" Miley handled it very well and quickly congratulated Nicki on the win and said that the media twisted her words. And since I know you all want to hear the comments that Miley said, Miley did an interview speaking about Minaj's Twitter spat with Taylor Swift over nominations, where Miley said, quote, "What I read sounded very Nicki Minaj," which, if you know Nicki Minaj, is not too kind. It's not very polite. I think there's a way you speak to people with openness and love. You don't have to start this pop star against pop star war. I know you can make it seem like, oh, I just don't understand because I'm a white pop star. I know the statistics, but I know what's going on in the world. But to be honest, I don't think MTV did that on purpose. And at number 2, James Franco. James Franco is 1,000,000% banned from hosting the Oscars ever again. And his performance hosting with Anne Hathaway was so bad, I wouldn't be surprised if he's secretly banned from presenting awards too. If you don't already know about this legendary night, James Franco and Anne Hathaway hosted the 2011 awards, but it was universally regarded as a train wreck. Most people found it terrible because of how different the hosts were acting. Anne was trying to be very upbeat and keep the energy high, while James acted like he just didn't even want to be there and acted incredibly uninterested with the whole thing. And I think it's safe to say that Franco is the one that made it a little hard to watch, while Anne was just trying to keep things afloat. Hathaway admitted that she initially tried to turn down the gig, but eventually came around, saying, quote, "Your first instinct is usually the right one." And now because the hosting was so bad, the Oscars has not done 2 co-hosts ever since. Also, apparently the whole thing was Franco's idea, which just makes everything even worse. And finally, number 1, Ryan Seacrest. Ryan Seacrest is beloved in Hollywood, so again, there's no official ban here, but he was definitely shunned at the 2018 Oscars, and people definitely noticed. After sexual allegation happened shortly before the Oscars, big stars decided not to get swept up in any drama and avoided being interviewed by him on the red carpet. Seacrest strongly denied the accusations, saying that they were an attempt to extort him. And E! backed up their star, saying they investigated and found no evidence of indecent behavior. And although most stars shunned him, Taraji P. Henson decided to support him. Taraji said during an interview with Seacrest, quote, "The universe has a way of taking care of good people," while touching his chin. Adding, quote, "You know what I mean?" When talking about the statement later, she said, quote, "I did it to keep his chin up. It's an awkward position to be in. He's been cleared, but anyone can say anything."
To say these celebrities destroyed their careers at award shows might be a little dramatic, but these embarrassing moments are hard to forget, and some of them impacted their careers in a negative way. Some are enough to get canceled, while other ones were just innocent flubs that could have happened to any of us. I'm your host for this one, Joss Bedard. Thanks for checking out Top 10 Beyond the Screen. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like because it really helps us out, and also subscribe so you don't miss our next one. Kicking off our list, number 10 is Steve Harvey. He has many years of hosting on his resume, so he was the perfect candidate to host the 2015 Miss Universe pageant. But even with years of experience, that was not enough to prevent this from happening. He went to announce the winner of the national contest, but accidentally said the wrong person. He was just reading from a card and didn't notice it until after the whole crowd and Miss Universe was already celebrating her win. Like, she literally had the crown on her head already. He then had to announce to everyone that she was not the winner, and it was just incredibly awkward and embarrassing. It was hard to even witness and watch the clip. He came under a lot of fire for the mistake, and people were even booing him while he was on stage. They even had to awkwardly remove the crown from Miss Colombia and then put it on Miss Philippines' head, and it was just one of like the most cringe-worthy moments I've ever seen happen at an award show. Steve, of course, took full responsibility and said that he read the card wrong, but people were not happy about it. Sliding into number 9 is John Travolta. He can't blame this mistake on reading a card wrong. This mistake is something he had to take full responsibility for. We're not sure how it happened, but John was in charge of introducing an artist at the 2014 Oscar Awards. Idina Menzel was performing her iconic song, Let It Go, from the Disney movie Frozen, which actually went on to win the Oscar for Best Original Song. So her performance was a big deal, and one that she as a performer would probably always remember. Except she won't, because John did not say her name when he announced her performance. He did say a name, but it wasn't hers. I'm not sure what explanation he had, but he mispronounced her name and said something completely different. He announced her as Adele Dazeem. Her name is Idina Menzel. He did apologize to her after the awards, and they went on to make a joke out of it at a future Oscar award show. In our number 8 spot is Neil Patrick Harris. The Oscars are one of the biggest award shows in the industry, and it's safe to say that all celebrities dress up for the evening, wearing long gowns and tailored suits. But Neil had a different attire in mind for the evening and went on stage in nothing but his underwear. He did a sketch that was a spoof from the Best Picture winner, Birdman, and it ended with him in little white briefs facing the audience in his underwear. People were shocked, as some would say the Oscars might not have been the time and place for something like that, but some people still had a good laugh. People were probably just worried how he would behave at future talk shows if he was asked to host or announce another winner. It probably wasn't the most appropriate choice for the event, but he did it with confidence. Cruising into number 7 is Lady Gaga. Her meat dress has gone down in history for a few different reasons, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me fill you in or refresh your memory. Lady Gaga showed up to the 2010 MTV Music Awards in a dress that was made out of raw meat. Not only the dress, but she had a matching headpiece and boots that were also red, bloody looking raw meat. A lot of people were offended by it, especially vegetarians and vegans, as you can imagine. Animal rights activists were also disgusted and angry about her decision, and she had a lot of explaining to do in the media after that. She went on the Ellen DeGeneres show after the awards and said it was no disrespect to anyone who is vegan or vegetarian, and said it was tied to her protest against the military's "Don't Ask, Don't Tell" policy. She also explained that it went with her recent cover for Vogue Japan, where she wore a meat bikini to symbolize that she is not a piece of meat, although she's wearing a piece of meat. While people could appreciate the message that she was trying to put out there may have been a better way of going about it. Moving on to number 6, we have Katy Perry. She definitely stole the show at the 2008 Latin American Awards, and all for the wrong reasons. She is known for being an epic performer who usually has a lot of fun costumes and props incorporated into her performances. So when she showed up to the awards and brought a giant cake on stage during her performance, people weren't that surprised. But they were surprised with what happened as the song went on. She started by standing above the giant pink cake, which was real by the way, and during the song she jumps on it, doing a belly flop directly into the cake. After she climbed out of the cake, she could not walk or stand because she was covered in icing and kept slipping. Her guitar player was trying to help her stand up, but every time she got up, she fell again. She ended up having to crawl off the stage. Halfway through our list, at number 5 is Kristen Stewart. One of the most embarrassing things that can happen to an artist is dropping the award when winning it. A speech can be enough pressure when you win an award, having to walk up on stage and gracefully put into words what it means to you while an entire crowd watches you and the world watches you behind their screens. Kristen won Best Female Performance at the 2009 MTV Movie Awards and won herself a golden popcorn statue. While she was accepting her award, she ended up dropping her golden popcorn statue and it broke. Viewers gasped and it was just very awkward and an embarrassing moment to watch, but she did handle it with grace. The woman in charge of handling the trophies, Susanna Della Rosa, said they actually ship the awards back to New York before the artist actually gets them to engrave them. So Kristen did receive a new one that was not broken. Up next, number 4 is Jennifer Lawrence. Bless her heart, she had one of the most embarrassing moments captured on camera for the world to see, but she did handle it like a champ. It was at the Oscar Awards when she was called up on stage to receive the Best Actress Award for her role in The Silver Lining Playbook. That's a moment that every artist probably dreams about and plans out in their head how they would do it. She could have rehearsed winning the award as many times as she wanted, but it still wasn't enough to prevent her fall from happening. That is right, as she was walking up the stairs on the stage to get her award, she tripped and fell down. She ended up just staying on the stairs for a minute on the ground, just laughing to herself and covering her face from the camera. After the award, she explained what happened and said that she remembers her stylist telling her to kick and walk, meaning kick the dress out while you walk, and she just got distracted and forgot. The dress tucked under her feet and she went down. It was pretty much game over from there. Taking over the number 3 spot is Madonna. Speaking of falling, another beautiful woman who happened to fall during the worst time possible in front of the whole world. This one was painful to watch for a few reasons. 1, because it is so embarrassing and you just feel so bad for her, and 2, because she fell down a set of stairs backwards, which we can imagine would be very painful. It was during her performance at the 2015 Brit Awards when she was wearing a cape that was apparently tied too tight around her neck. What was supposed to happen was she was going to untie the cape at the top of the stairs, and the dancers were to pull the cape off of her from the bottom of the stairs. Well, they did that, but the cape did not come undone. Madonna later explained what happened and said she was told to tie the cape tighter so that it wouldn't fall off throughout the performance. So when she went to untie it, it did not come undone, but the dancers were pulling it, so they basically strangled her and yanked her backwards, and that is how she fell. She ended up hitting the back of her head on the floor and had whiplash from it. She was okay, but she did vow to never perform using a cape ever again. Sliding into number 2 is Miley Cyrus. Her 2013 VMAs performance with Robin Thicke was one of the most talked about performances of all time. It caused a ton of controversy, way more than anyone ever expected. Miley went on stage in a skin-colored two-piece and twerked on Robin Thicke while holding a giant foam finger. That's just like a little piece of the whole performance, so go watch it. People threw Miley in the fire for her outfit, her actions, which were pretty provocative, and dancing on Robin, who was a married man. When I say she received heat for it, I mean she took the heat for it. She explained they were both in rehearsals prior to that and said that he had no problem with the twerking and choreography, so it didn't make sense that she was just getting heat for the fact that he is married. The performance was one to remember, to say the least, and if you have not seen it, go watch. It's pretty epic. Earning the number 1 place on our list is Kanye West. It was back in 2009 at the MTV Awards when Kanye did the unthinkable and started a feud that lasted for a decade. Taylor Swift won an award which she was really excited about, but then Kanye had to take that excitement away from her. While she was giving her acceptance speech, Kanye climbed on the stage, took the mic from her, and announced to everyone that he thinks Beyonce should have won the award. He let everyone know that Beyonce's music video for Put a Ring on It was one of the best videos of all time. The audience was in complete shock, including Beyonce, who just looked completely mortified and embarrassed. Taylor looked shocked and honestly didn't even know what to say. Beyonce later apologized to Taylor on Kanye's behalf because she had nothing to do with it and was happy for Taylor receiving her award. Kanye, however, did not apologize.
Live show awards don't always go to plan, and today's part 2 list is proof of that. While these embarrassing flubs didn't completely destroy their careers, it definitely had people talking and laughing. I'm your host for this one, Joss Bedard. That is right, we are back with a part 2 list of celebrities who destroyed their careers at award shows. More like embarrassed themselves. Kicking off our countdown list at number 10 is Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis. They are on this list together because they were paired up to announce one of the awards and took things just a little bit too far. They took the opportunity to blatantly promote their new movie at the time, Friends with Benefits, where they play the leading characters and are literally just friends with benefits in it. So when they went on stage, they started explaining their friendship, saying that they're like brother and sister, but then they started groping each other and everyone was a little bit confused. Justin stood behind her and grabbed her breasts while she took one hand and grabbed his junk. And they basically just stood there grabbing each other's junk. It was very weird. They were like talking and groping each other. People were very shocked, and while some of them were laughing, others felt that it was just like a little bit too far. In spot number 9, we have Katherine Heigl. Now, this one was not her fault and she totally handled it with grace. So did she ruin her entire career? No. But the embarrassing moment was talked about for a while, and it's worth mentioning because she took it like such a champ. Better than I probably would have. The Grey's Anatomy star wore a stunning red dress to the Show West Awards, and her dress was all that people were talking about after the event. But not for the reason that you're probably thinking. She won the Female Star Award and was walking up to the stage to accept her award. While she was walking up to the stage to get it, her red dress started to fall off and she realized that one of her straps had completely broke. But she still continued to go up and receive her award, and the host at the time, Billy Bush, held up her dress from the back. Like literally held it up so that it did not fall off of her. She made it through the whole presentation and got a huge round of applause for overcoming her wardrobe malfunction with such grace and class. She was very tasteful about it. I probably would have made weird jokes and freaked out. Like I probably would have just not gone up on stage. Cruising into number 8 is Ian Somerhalder. You know you've gone through an embarrassing moment when the internet turns you into a GIF. The awkward moment has gone down as one of the greatest award show moments of all times because it is so awkward and funny to watch. Ian is a heartthrob actor from shows like The Vampire Diaries and Lost, but no matter how good looking he is, Ariana Grande had no problem making him look like a fool. Ian announced an award that she had won, and as she went up to get the award from him and give her speech, he went in to give her a kiss, and she completely turned it down and like swung away so that he would kiss her on the cheek. The whole encounter was so awkward that it is now a GIF, and you've probably used it before without knowing the backstory. So you're welcome, because I actually have seen it and I was like, what is this? Moving on to number 7, we have James Franco and Anne Hathaway. Another celebrity pair who had a great opportunity given to them at an award show, but they completely blew it. The two of them were asked to host the 2011 Oscars, which would be a dream come true for a lot of people. But their hosting experience went down in history as one of the worst hosting jobs ever. Articles have dubbed it as one of the cringiest nights in Oscars history. It was that bad. In 2019, Anne did an interview with People and spoke about the night and said that she turned the gig down at first and that James convinced her to do it. She wished she hadn't. James spoke about it with Variety and said that he thinks the problem was that they were so opposite from one another and that there was just no chemistry. Everyone says that James looked bored next to her on stage, and some even claimed that he looked stoned, but he said that he was just trying too hard to match like her calm energy. Honestly, probably one of the weirdest pairings ever to host the Oscars. Like, what? So random. Up next, number 6 is Cate Blanchett. Because I am a girl full of attitude and sassy comments, I personally love this one because she got sassy and put some people in their place at the 2014 SAG Awards. She won the award for Best Female Actor in a Leading Role, and her speech was one that has made history. She began her speech and started thanking people, and just 5 seconds in, she was cut off by the teleprompter telling her she only had 29 seconds until her time was up. So she let the audience know that she only had 29 seconds and slammed Matthew McConaughey, saying that he talked about Neptune when doing his speech so she could have more than 5 seconds. People were shocked at her sassy remark, but then started clapping because she does make a solid point. Also, 30 seconds is not enough time to accept a huge award like that. Are you kidding me? How do I possibly come up with a speech for within 30 seconds? Probably never have to, so I'm not worried about it, but. Halfway through the list at number 5 is Jon Hamm. The actor won his first Emmy Award in 2015 after 16 nominations, so accepting the award was a very special moment, which is why people were so confused when he decided to accept his trophy while on his knees. When he was called up to accept the award for lead actor in a drama series, he climbed up on stage on his hands and knees. It was just very weird, but thankfully he did make it up with a very humble speech where he thanked his dog and his now ex-girlfriend Jennifer Westfeldt. But thanking your dog? That is who I would thank first. For sure. My doggy. Moving on to number 4, we have Elizabeth Taylor. We've seen some people mess up when announcing a winner or revealing the nominees. Maybe they get nervous or the teleprompter just screws up. But this mistake was totally on Elizabeth, and she had no one to really blame but herself. It was back in 2001 at the Golden Globe Awards when she was announcing the winner for Best Motion Picture Drama category. Most people wouldn't expect the legendary actress to mess this up, but we are all human at the end of the day. She got a little ahead of herself and she started opening the winner envelope before announcing the nominees, which is like the most important part. The crowd started yelling for her to stop, and the producer, Dick Clark, actually ran up on stage and stopped her in time. It was an innocent mistake, but like, have you watched an award show before? Come on. You can't say the winner without the nominees. Taking over our 3rd spot is Stacey Dash. Ever since the 2016 Oscars, she has been given the award for the most confusing joke ever at an award show. She made an appearance on the show and left everyone scratching their heads in confusion. Chris Rock introduced the actress as the new director of the Academy's Minority Outreach Program. After walking out on stage, she said, "I cannot wait to help my people out. Happy Black History Month." People were baffled since there was a huge call from the world earlier in the year to end Black History Month, since we should be learning about it and celebrating it all year round. Everyone's reaction in the audience was caught on camera and people just looked completely stunned. Celebrities also took their thoughts to Twitter after that, and Demi Lovato tweeted, "And that was the only time Stacey Dash will ever be at the Oscars again." And I think Demi was right. I think that was in fact the last time. Cruising into number 2 is Jonah Hill and Margot Robbie. The Wolf on Wall Street co-stars had to face a teleprompter fail at the Golden Globes back in 2014. They were doing what they were supposed to do, so it was not their fault. They were literally just reading what was on the teleprompter. But apparently they were fed the wrong lines and they started reading off something that they were not supposed to. They were supposed to present a clip from their movie, but then the teleprompter was just saying different things. Jonah was very real with the audience and said, "I'm not gonna lie to you, right now they put the wrong stuff on the teleprompter." Margot also kept it real and said, "I've never done this before, so I don't want to improvise." They laughed it off and so did the audience, and they were handed a piece of yellow paper with their planned dialogue on it because the show is always prepared like to go old school on them, which is actually kind of fascinating. Like in case the teleprompter fails, they actually have the dialogue on like spare cue cards, which I never knew. In our number 1 spot is Harry Styles. He shocked everyone back in 2014 when he left his One Direction band on stage during one of the biggest moments in their career. The band was called up on stage at the Brit Awards to win their award for global success. So where was Harry when the rest of the band remained on stage to give a speech? Well, he was going to the bathroom. That is right, he left them to go to the bathroom apparently, but the band members didn't even know where he was. So one of them, when giving their speech, asked the audience if anyone had seen Harry. Before the speech ended, Harry did run out on stage and announced to the audience that he was having a wee and that it was very far away. However, a plot twist, it was later revealed that he was not actually in the bathroom and that he was outside having a sneaky little cigarette with his pal Nick Grimshaw. So he was not having a wee.